Hello, hello, hello. I hope you guys are enjoying the party so far. Tonight we're going to be talking matcha and lattes. And so before we get to that, I am going to say if you're popping on here live, make sure you tell us hello. We love to reply back to you. And as well, if you watch later, throw us a hashtag replay. Hey Trista, if you have any questions, make sure you post them in the comments below and I will answer them. If you have to wait for a little bit, I might be trying to find an answer if I don't know it, but I will get back to you. All right, so I am going to talk a little bit about some of our teaware as well as matcha and lattes. And hopefully I don't go on too long. I'm going to make a few demos for you so you can see how easy it is to make a loose leaf tea latte. And I'll kind of talk a little bit about our latte mixes with some tips. And as well, I'll make a cold iced matcha latte. And I'm going to make a hot matcha latte. And then if you have any questions, like I said, or if you want to see anything tomorrow in our live, make sure you throw those in the comments below. So first of all, I'm going to just mention, I love our prism pot. This prism pot is so classy looking. You can leave it out on the stove and it looks really pretty. I never have enough cupboard space, even though I have a decent sized kitchen, but I never can, especially with all the tea I have. But anyways, I love leaving it out. It is pretty. It can go on gas stoves and electric stoves as well. I know it's unbelievable. It was hard for me to put it on my gas stove, let me tell you, the first time, but I use it all the time and I've never had an issue. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to start steeping my hot tea for the loose leaf latte. Okay, so first of all, this is our breezy, and I do like it. It comes with two little infuser mesh filter kind of things, and it just pops. I'm just gonna shake this out. My daughter just washed it and had some water in it. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that below. You'll hear it click. I love these. I'm going to show you. Sorry, it's kind of wet. She kind of didn't do the best job at rinsing it. But you can see that it has a fine mesh. So this is really great if you want a breezy. If you're using the latte mixes and you don't want to use these biodegradable steeping sacks, like we do have these biodegradable steeping sacks, which is really handy and I love using them. I use them all the time. But if you don't want to use those all the time, then you can actually make lattes in these breezies. And because it's such a fine mesh, nothing really goes through that. And so if you have any kind of infuser that's a fine mesh, then that works great for the powders, like the mixes with powders, or iced teas. Sometimes they're black, naturally sweet iced teas. Sometimes black little bits will break off in the bag. And sometimes those can go through the little infuser holes, and I personally don't care about it, but if you're having a dinner or a fancy get together, you don't want little specks of black to go in. So things like this is great to make iced teas with as well, or to make a concentrate. I also like straining my kombucha in here too. All right, so first of all, we're gonna start with a loose leaf tea. So I'm gonna make chocolate espresso martini. Loose leaf lattes are actually my favorite way to make lattes. I do like her mixes too, especially the London Fog, the chai, and the London Mist. I really enjoy those, and I have those regularly, but loose leaf teas are my favorite, especially the pu'er and the black teas. But so I like to have, first of all, I'll show you what our chocolate espresso martini looks like. I don't know if you can see this, but there's chunks of cocoa bean, black tea, organic chocolate chips, cocoa butter, coffee beans, natural flavors. It's so yummy. If you like coffee, you will love this latte. Okay, so I like mine strong. So I'm going to put 3, and I use usually a big cup like this. This is not a standard teacup. So I usually use, because I like it strong, 3 teaspoons of tea, or 2 perfect cup of teaspoons. These are 1.5 teaspoons in each of these cup of teaspoons that we sell. So I am going to fill that about 3/4 full. And then I'm gonna set my timer. We do sell these timers. You could just use your clock on your stove, but I do make sure that I time my tea. So this is a black tea, so I'm gonna set it to black. If you can see all the different names, so you don't have to think about it. You just find your tea that you want, or the number of minutes that you want, and then set it. It also comes with a magnet, so if you like to put things on your fridge, you can have that handy. The reason why we want to make sure we time our teas, I don't know if you used to ever do that, or if you do this still, but sometimes you have a tea and it's kind of, you're like, it's okay tea, it's not that great, but it's okay. A lot of times what's happening is you'll throw a tea bag in, you'll walk away from it, you're not timing it, and you just guess at how long to steep it, but really it turns bitter after a certain amount of time with our caffeinated teas. So it's really important that we time our caffeinated teas so they don't turn bitter, because you might be thinking you don't like a tea, and in reality it's just you're over steeping them. So I never knew that before. So until I started with Sipology. Okay, so we're brewing that, and then I am going to also make a hot matcha latte as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just trying to think what I want to do first. Actually, I'm going to get my froth going first. So our frothers are amazing. They have this mesh, a little, I don't know, sheet at the bottom that creates the froth by a pumping action like that. And so what I like to do is I put in 2 to 3 finger lengths from the bottom, so you eyeball it about that high, of milk. I use lactose-free milk. You can use any kind of milk. You can use almond milk, oat milk, rice milk, whatever you want. They all work, sorry, I'm distracted with all these cups here. They all work fine, but some froth better than others. So if you're finding that your frother is not frothing properly, it's likely because you do not have enough milk in your base here. So this is a bag of matcha, and so I'm going to use the sweet chocolate matcha. So, okay, so first, before I do that, I don't want it to turn bitter. So I'm going to grab my double bubble cup. I love it. It's double walled, so your hands stay cold when you're holding a hot drink. And I love the breezy because there's no drips. Once you lift up, it just goes away. And, okay, so put that on the base, and I'll just set that off to the side, and we'll finish that off in a minute. Okay, so this is a bag of a sweet matcha. So I'm going to use the sweet chocolate matcha. It is sweetened with stevia leaf, but it's a whole leaf, and so it doesn't, I don't typically like stevia. I usually use monk fruit and different natural sweeteners, but this matcha is really good. I love our sweet matchas, and it's because I was told they use the whole leaf and they're not processing it like a lot of other stevia products. And so I love ours, it's not the same as other stevia brands, but this is about 80 to 100 servings, so it lasts a really, really long time. So even though the sticker, when you see it, is a little bit pricier product, it does last for a really long time. Could last for like about 100 days. Now, if you have a non-sweetened matcha, regular matcha, without the stevia, then those are 100 servings exactly. Now, the reason why it's 80 to 100 with the sweet matchas is because stevia is more dense, and so you don't get quite as many servings, but it lasts me forever. Honestly, it's quite economical actually if you're drinking matcha on a regular basis, because they last so long. Okay, so I'm going to put half a teaspoon, which is, I have a matcha spoon here, but you don't need to use that. Now, you can use a fork, but I like to use our little matcha whisk. These are like $12, and I don't know if you can see this, but you just push down, and it's hard now, but let's see if I can move my screen. Can you see this? And you just push down, and now I'm just making this all dizzy. You just push down. It's probably better for me to just show you like this, and it just whisks so easily. Okay, now you can just use a fork for this though. You don't have to have a whisk. or you could use a regular little whisk that you can sometimes find. You just want to make sure if you get one of these, you don't leave it submerged into the water because it can wreck the top here. Okay, so now I'm going to just froth up the latte froth. And this chocolate matcha, the sweet chocolate matcha, my teenage daughter, she actually really likes it. It tastes just like light chocolate milk is what it tastes like when it's mixed with a dairy or a dairy substitute. That one tastes amazing in milk. Yeah, it does. Chocolate. I like a lot of our lattes in milk actually, but I do also, I like our fruit matchas with just ice water or hot. Usually I like it cold, but I will drink it hot, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So now we just want to let that sit for just a few seconds at least, because we want that to make sure that it firms up and then it's going to not fall flat right away. Okay, so while I do that, I'm going to quickly just make a hot matcha. So I'm going to use the sweet salted caramel matcha, and I am going to just add 1 serving. And I'm going to add about, let's see, about half a cup to 3/4 of a cup, I'll say. And then I'm going to just whisk it up. You can, and it's to taste. So if you wanted it stronger or if you want to make a bigger serving, you can. So I just make sure that there's no little green specks in there. And then I'm just going to pour that into this cup. Don't you love our glitter cups? Here's a pro tip. Okay, now I can't, this side here is kind of falling. I don't know if you can see, so you can't see the stars. The glitter has fallen. And all you do to fix it is use static, and just, you could use a towel and just rub it on the outside, and it'll stay like that for a long time again. But every once in a while they fall to the bottom, and that's all it takes to reactivate them. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm making 2, so I'm using these 2 drinks here, these 2 lattes, salted caramel hot matcha latte, and the chocolate espresso martini. And I'm just going to top both of those off with the chocolate froth. And I'll show you what they look like. Now, I forgot something, and I'm going to run, and I'll be right back. Sorry, I wanted to talk about our chocolate burst and our sweet salted caramel taste toppers. And also we have the pink lavender. I was surprised at how much I like the pink lavender, actually. It's very delicious. Now, these little toppers are really good to sweeten, so you can add as much as you want to flavor something. You can also add it to baking, to the tops of baking, but they're great to just finish off your lattes, and they're made with lucuma powder, and that is so healthy. If you take a look at just all the different health benefits of lucuma powder, you would be amazed. It is considered a superfood, and so it's very sweet. And so you don't need very much, but I'm going to use the chocolate burst on the chocolate espresso, and I'll use the salted caramel on the salted caramel matcha. Now look at that. Don't those look beautiful? I love, this chocolate martini is great as a latte, and it's fantastic also as an actual martini. Tomorrow I'll post a demo that I did earlier on making a martini. So delicious. All right, so I'm not going to drink out of the other one, only because I'm going to give it away, because I don't want to have like all these drinks and drink them all myself. So I have some extra tea from earlier today, and it's cold. It was sitting on the stove and I didn't finish drinking it. So I made it from the last catalog, Cozy Pumpkin Swirl Chai. And so all I'm going to do is I'm going to I have my big sip here. They're also engravable. I don't know if you can see it. My name here. But you can engrave them, so that's kind of a great for if you go to the gym or work and you don't want to lose it, or also for a gift idea. They also have numbers on the side so you can measure how much fluids you're having. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put half of it filled with some tea that was sitting, and then I'm going to grab some, where did I put that? What kind do I want? I'm going to do the sweet salted caramel, and I'll put 1 serving, and then I'm going to just top it off with some milk and add some ice. And you see the tops of our big sips, they have an agitator. You could also use a protein shaker cup, any kind of shaker cup. You want to make sure that you hit it, it's quite tight. So, and then you just shake it. And that's all there is to making an actual cold iced matcha latte. So easy. Now what I do is for my colds matchas with ice water, I just fill it. I usually put, for this whole thing, if I want to do a whole thing, I'll put 2 scoops of matcha, and then I'll sip on it for hours throughout the day. Like if I'm at work or something, then it'll give me enough energy for the whole day. Now if you only want half, 1 serving, and then you just fill it half with ice water, and yeah, it's great. So delicious. The fruit flavors are so great just with ice and water. I love them. Now, I also wanted to talk to you quickly about our powders, our latte mixes. Okay, so the reason why I said, so we do recommend a fine mesh infuser or those steeping sacks because it is fine powder. It will go through just your typical little infusing cups, and so if you don't mind a little bit of sediment, it's fine. It's not going to hurt you or anything. It's just you'll have a little bit of sediment at the bottom of your cup, and so if you don't want that, just use a steeping sack. They're biodegradable. They come in sets of 100. They're reasonably priced, and these are really good and fast. Now I will give you a little tip. I actually steep mine a little bit longer than what they recommend. They say 30 seconds, but for me, I think as long as you don't go over the 2 minutes, because then you don't want it to turn bitter, you're fine. And I find that I need to steep mine for at least a minute, if not 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes, just to get the flavor that I want. And so if you also buy teas and you find that they're either too strong or too weak, you just need to add or decrease the amount of tea leaves that you use. And often it's not that you don't like the tea, you might be preparing it a little bit different than you like, or you might need to add a sweetener or flavor. Another thing that you can do, and I don't have them out right now, I should have brought them out, I was going to and I forgot, is our wet sugars. Now, our wet sugars are amazing. They're made with lucuma powder and dates, and you just mix them with water and you make like a simple syrup, and that replaces any kind of a latte pump, like a syrup that you'd buy. Or sugar, and even if you have things like SodaStream and you want to sweeten your fruit teas a little bit, you can use our wet sugars as well, and it's just a healthier alternative to sugar. If you're looking for something like that, they are quite delicious. I've tried the lemon and I've tried the vanilla bean, and both of those are great. I haven't tried the peach one yet, but they are very sweet, and so I know I posted earlier about this. They are you probably use half the amount that they recommend, because I don't know how you'd use 2 tablespoons unless you're having a really big drink or like something really super sweet. So I use about half that they recommend, so it's about 20 calories and 5 carbohydrates. So compared to the syrups in the coffee shops, it is way healthier. And oh, hey Melody, hey Mom. But anyways, so that's really all I have to say. I hope you guys learned lots. If you have questions that I didn't answer, please make sure you ask in the comments below, and I will, hey Debbie, I will answer those for you. And if you are just popping on now and you missed earlier, just watch the replay. And sorry about my puppy, something's bugging her outside. Yeah. I hope you're having fun, and make sure you let me know if there's something in particular you're going to want to see tomorrow. I was thinking of doing some cocktails and sangrias and maybe some spritzers and things like that. But if you have something in particular, make sure you let me know, and I'll try to do a demo tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.